Hello everybody, hello, my name is Harriet and I'm the content producer for Secret Mode, and in today's video we're going to be looking at what happens in your first 10 minutes of playing Wobbledogs. So if you're new to Wobbledogs, this is the video for you. Let's get into it. Here we are, we've got the Wobbledogs title screen here. I'm just going to start a new game. I'm going to call it For the Newbies. And then we'll just get started. Just press play and we're ready to go. So the first thing that it will do in the game is give us a dog. You can change the dog's name by clicking and highlighting it, dragging over it, or just clicking it for the first time. I'm going to name mine Sackboy because I have a little Sackboy mug that just sits in front of me. And there we go, we've just named our first pup. Next we need to go to this little doghouse icon here. This is our storage. And you can see here that we've got Sackboy. And this screen kind of gives you an overview of all the dogs that you own. And if you accidentally end up moving or there's another option to destroy it, it'll end up in this little screen here. So just to show you around here, obviously we have our stored dogs and stored cores. And the pen is essentially like what dogs you've got out on the floor. Your stored dogs will be here, so any games that aren't out in the pens will be there. And here we have some stored cores. When your dog dies, you can either memorialize them or you can kind of have the little the cores are just kind of what happens when what they leave behind when they die, basically. You can also file your dogs, so when you store them you can put them under these different categories. Maybe you've got dogs that are all pink, maybe you've got dogs that are long, or they have tails or wings, but you can essentially file them under that when you store them. Just select the icon that you need and store them away. Next, you're going to want to feed your dogs because dogs need food to live. So the game will make you place this classic food dispenser down. You can go into the fence here, but we also have the build panel. This will let you select different types of rooms, and there's like a kind of hamster cage, and you've got like little tubes that you go through. It basically connects through those tubes. We're going to go back into the play tab, and that sends us into this room. And then we're just going to go onto the fence icon, and that kind of takes us into our like decorative area. So you can have different carpets, you can also have different wallpapers. There's a maze wall here, I've just fashionably put that on. Decorations when you unlock them, toys and utilities. This is where our food dispenser is. And the walls are kind of like partitions. This is where you would keep the plants. For now, we're just going to go into utilities and get a food dispenser place. You can make this as big or as small as you want. I think I'm just going to go for an absolutely massive one. You can rotate it by pressing R. You can resize it by scrolling, using your scrolling wheel. I'll just pop that down by clicking the left mouse. We'll go back into play. And it's essentially saying that, you know, your dog will try to feed itself, but if you click on a piece of food, you can command your dog to eat the food. We just start off with a standard nutritional pellet, but we have a couple of things that are unlocked here. That is important because what you feed your dog matters, depending on what mutations you'd like. Some things might make them long, some things might make them short and stubby, but all of your bacteria, when you unlock it by eating it, you can see here that it's blanked out for now because we don't know what that is going to do to the dog. We don't know what any of these things will do to the dog. Yet, it will appear in that Gut Flora field guide. So it's kind of an experiment at first. These first few dogs are good to experiment with. But for now, I'm just going to feed them a French fry. I'm not sure what this will do to the dog. I'm assuming we'll make it longer and thinner. Also, just a thing to note here is you can see his hunger here. His hunger meter is low, it's not green. So if he's not feeding himself, he looks like he's feeding himself, but just to show you, I left click on the chip on the French fry and then click on eat, and he will try his best to eat the chip. You can move it closer to them as well just by clicking and holding, and that will bring the food closer to them. Next, we're going to help our dog pupate. So you can see he's got this little bubble, this little thought bubble above his head, but he's also got above his icon here to mutate. He's a young adult, so he will be going into a full adult. I'll be able to show you that cycle in a sec, but just click on mutate and that will just pull him up into a little pod and he'll start to mutate and pupate. Just to let you know, everything is sped up in the tutorial, it does slow down, but he's ready to hatch, so you just click on hatch, it'll appear just above his little pod. And there he is, an adult dog. You can see here the stages, so we've got baby, juvenile, young adult, and adult. You can also look what he looked like before and after. So I fed him the French fry, but his body seems to have gone down in adulthood, so he's actually smaller. You can see just on the right there, his body is 25.8% smaller, but he's slightly glossier. So now we're going to build an incubator which let you hatch fertilised dog eggs. Here we go, we've got the incubator right here. You can see that Sackboy has just eaten his cocoon. They usually just do that on their own, but you can see his cocoon has left a little puddle behind. So I've just moved Sackboy out of the way by clicking and holding and moving him out of the way. You get this little like hairdryer. It looks like a hairdryer. Anyway, you just click on it and it will just get rid of the puddle for you. But now we're going to place the incubator. So again, I'm going to make this comically massive using the scroll wheel and just pop it down there. Go back into play and there we go. So we don't have any dog eggs yet. The incubator will always let you hatch just a normal standard Wobbledogs egg. So so you'll never run out of Wobbledogs, even if you've got no eggs and all of your Wobbledogs die. It means that you can still hatch this default Wobbledog. I'm going to go ahead and click incubate. And you can see the timer there goes super quickly. It's ready to hatch now, and you just click on ready to hatch. But again, that does go a little bit longer. This is just the tutorial. So I like the name Sophie, but you can also, just to demonstrate, if you click this dice here, then the names will be randomised. I actually love the name Bread, so let's go for Bread. So this is just saying two more things. If you're holding an object, you can press the delete key on your keyboard and destroy it. This works for dogs too, but they'll just be moved to storage. And don't forget to save often. It only autosaves when you're in breeding mode, so make sure that you save before you go to desktop. So there's a little trophy in the corner. I'm just going to click on that, and this is where you kind of have extra like goals to complete, and you'll get some cool stuff. So I've just got Randy just for completing the tutorial, who's an extra dog. So we're going to go back into the doghouse icon up here, and you can see now that I've got these two dogs here that I've hatched, but in stored dogs there is Randy. So I'm just going to bring Randy out. Oh no, actually. I'm just going to look at, so if you export dog, this is your dog's code. All dogs have a unique code, and the import dog. Import, especially if you've joined the Wobbledogs Discord, a lot of people kind of trade, well, they'll put the dog codes in there. You just paste that into here, and say they have like a dog with wings, for example, and you want a dog with wings, you just paste the dog code into there, and vice versa. This is your dog code, and if you have a dog that they might want, you just copy that and give them that code. Bring Randy out now. Here he is, he's rocking out, rocking Randy. So I've got a little exclamation mark in the Gut Flora field guide, and you can see we've actually unlocked some new gut flora. So we've got something here from the cocoon, and these are from the fries that they ate. You can see the effects are still locked away, but they will unlock the more your dogs eat them. Just another little pointer here, you can see the ages of your dogs when you scroll over their name. Your dogs can actually die in Wobbledogs, but if you don't want that to happen, you can go into options, and under gameplay settings, which is just on the right here, you can switch off dog death or extend the lifespan. However, if you do this, just bear in mind that you will not be able to get some of the trophies that require dog deaths or ghosts appearing, for example, so do just bear that in mind if you switch that setting off. You might also notice that your dogs have made this dirt patch here. That's basically a den, and you can give them a hand with it too. You essentially grab onto one of the dirt clumps and drag it into here, and you'll see there's 2 out of 20 that I've got over the den. That 20, when that gets completed, will turn into a dog den, and the dogs will hang around in there, they'll spend lots of time in there, so yeah, that's just one useful thing to know. Also, there's this camera icon over here. If you want to take some cute screenshots of your Wobbledogs, then just click on the camera icon and you'll have a little, this little box that comes up. You can choose to turn the UI off, and you can choose to have a high-res one. And then there's a bunch of other options, so you can have a play around with this to get the best screenshots of your Wobbledogs. And when you're done, you just click Browse Screenshots and it will open the file directly onto your computer. It saves it directly onto your PC. And that's everything from me today. Just remember, before you log off, to save your game. It's super important to save your game before logging off. Like I said, that is everything from me today, but I will be coming back with more of these videos. I think next time we're going to show you the breeding simulator, but first of all I need my dogs to pop out some eggs first. Remember that Wobbledogs is available to download on Steam right now if you haven't already downloaded it, the link of which will be in the description below this video. We'll see you again next time. Bye bye!